Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the BNI San Diego show, podcast show. Do you think we should change the name?
No, I think it's
No?
good as it is.
Well, today we have with us Abbie Wilson. As most of you already know by this point, Abbie is Ed's daughter, our executive director, and Abbie has been at conference with us all week long. So, Abbie, let's talk about conference a little bit. We'll do
Okay.
Abbie's shakedown of National Conference 2025. What do you think?
It was a lot of fun, especially this year being able to actually embrace all the people that were here and seeing the same people over and over having conversations. And yeah, I got to learn a lot of different things.
So, how many conferences have you attended now?
I think 6.
6, but tell everybody who doesn't know how old you are. How old you
I'm
are?
13.
So you're 13, and basically half your life you spent at conferences.
Yes.
Coming to BNI conferences. So did you go to the Las Vegas conference last year?
I went to a day of it and then me and my sister drove back.
Yeah.
So not really.
Yeah. So this was like the first one I think I've seen you at like the whole time.
Yeah.
So was this one different than some of the other ones that you've gone to before?
I think it was, especially having a bunch of new people in different roles and seeing how we do different things now as when I was 4 or 5.
Yeah. So we had this really cool opportunity the other night where a couple of different locations got to go and sit with Ivan and do a group one-to-one with Ivan. And at the end of that kind of one-to-one, he started taking questions from everybody. And you stood up and introduced yourself. Why don't you tell everyone who has not heard your official BNI San Diego title what your official title is?
I'm the celebration coordinator of BNI San Diego.
So during the group one-to-one, there's a room full of adults, all BNI members, executive directors, director consultants, and all these various roles throughout the organization. And Ivan's just sitting there on a stool, with his hat on, just kind of answering questions. And then Abbie raises her hand and she says, "I have a question." And then he goes, "Okay, introduce yourself." And she stands up and says, "I'm Abbie Wilson. I'm Ed's daughter." And Ed goes, "No, introduce yourself." And then you said,
I'm Abbie Wilson, the celebration coordinator of BNI San Diego.
and the whole room was like, "Yeah!" Well, partly because you're the celebration coordinator, but here's a 13-year-old among all of us, adults in business and inside BNI and all these different roles. And you just stood up in front of a room of people and you're like, "This is who I am." And I think they were all really impressed by that. Were you nervous?
Well, at first he didn't see my hand. I raised my hand 5 times, and then Ray and a lady next to me helped me, and they raised their hands for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so tell me about one of the most memorable experiences of conference so far, whether it was in session or it was just kind of around, back at the house. What was one of the funnest parts or most memorable parts to you?
I think, oh my gosh. When we were in conference actually earlier this morning, and who was talking? Oh my gosh. Wait, who are the speakers?
Well, you had Ivan talk about the vision, kind of moving forward a little bit.
Oh,
and then we had
Mike.
Mike, okay.
Yes.
All right.
He was talking about the future generations of BNI, and I thought I really related to it. And he was talking about Cameron Reynolds and a bunch of different second and third generations that are going to be in BNI when I'm in BNI. And I thought it was really cool to see the different takes that we're going to have on BNI
Yeah.
other than what you guys have now.
Yeah. So for those who are watching and don't know that, there's some folks who, they were in BNI, 20, 30, now almost 40 years for the whole lifespan of BNI, whose children are now adults and own regions or have various roles inside the organization. But there's some folks who's their third generation of the family is in their young teens or in their late teens, early 20s, and we have a couple of regions where those younger 20-year-olds are already getting executive director status with their parents, kind of as they're kind of onboarding into their region for ownership, essentially is what it is, shared ownership. And so, you got to be a witness to that, which is pretty cool. I mean, it sounds like, so when you're your age, Abbie, when you're 13 and Cameron's 22, I think, right? He's 22 or 21?
21.
21. Okay, so there's 8 years. You're like, oh, wow, but 13 and 21 is way different, right? When you get older, when you get a little bit older, 8 years isn't that big of a disparity when you start talking about like 40 and 48 when it comes to business experience. And so by the time Cameron is in his 30s and 40s and you're in your 30s and 40s, you guys are going to be like right there neck and neck. And some of those same people that were once, your age when their parents were doing this were here at conference, and they were keynote speakers at session breakouts. So 2 of those were friends of mine, one Nate Dominguez out of Arizona, and another one which is Tim Roberts. So for those of you who don't know, Norm Dominguez used to work for BNI for, decades, and was Ivan's right-hand man, and his son Nate owns the region. And then you also have Tim Roberts. His dad, Mike, was my trainer all the way back in 2011, which, I'm old now, Abbie, so I was like, 14 years.
Born.
Yeah, before, thank you very much. So before Abbie was born, I was trained by Mike Roberts, Tim's father. Thank you very much, Mike and Abbie, for reminding me how old I am. There's all these people over here now laughing at you. It's Jamie over in the corner. So it's really cool, Abbie. I think it's awesome that you're here and you're doing this now and you're getting this experience because, first of all, not every kid's going to get up and stand in front of a room of adults and be confident and comfortable, which you do. But your mom and dad really raised you to be in that kind of environment, and I think there's something to be said for that. And also, you're curious, and you are very inquisitive, and you are attentive when you're learning. I actually got some footage of you sitting with your dad this morning in session, like writing notes, looking at the screen, making sure you write stuff, and I was like, man, I know she's not like doodling on the paper, so I was really impressed by that. I just want to let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're loving this, aren't you?
Yeah, it's so much fun, especially like the relationships we get to build with people. I think me and my dad are like such people.
You're people.
Yeah. And so we love like being in family events and BNI events, and it's just like a big family to us.
Yeah, that's super cool. And it was fun having your mom here too, huh? You guys have to do some time together, just the girl time together, and then time with mom and dad. We're doing a show right here that your dad doesn't even know about. We'll probably have to air it on like a second channel or something. But, you also got to get your picture with Ivan and with Mary. That's right. So, like in the kind of BNI world of BNI worlds, you're like running with all the pack, man. Girl, run with the pack, man. It's been a long week. We've had a lot of car rides back and forth, so the whole banter between Ray and Ed,
Interesting
Abbie,
car rides.
Kelly, myself, it has been, I guess it's kind of been a little silly, huh? It's kind of tired at the end of the day. All right, so tell everybody what you think is one thing they should know about when it comes to National Conference, something you learned. What do you want everyone back in San Diego to know? If you could pick something to tell them or share with them, either an announcement or something that you learned that you want them to know.
Oh, well, first of all, we're going to Orlando next year, which is so exciting. And then I think today Ivan was talking about going big and going bold and going beyond. And I think that's like, as like members of BNI or directors of BNI, we should always go beyond what we think we can do. And going beyond can lead you to so many different things that you never thought you could like come to.
I have nothing else to say. This show is over. This has been Abbie Wilson and Andy Cruz with BNI San Diego. Abbie, that was an awesome takeaway. Thank you for sharing that. You are so far beyond your years. I can't even start describing. I don't even need to say anymore. Everyone just witnessed it. So, Abbie, thank you so much for an awesome conference. You did great this week. I know you learned a lot, and I'm really excited about the future you have with BNI because you are going to be a standout, stellar star. All right, girl? Okay, well, for all of you that are just tuning into the BNI San Diego podcast, thanks for watching or listening. Remember to like this video if you're watching. Hit that subscribe button so that every time we launch a new episode, you hear about it first. And if you learned something in this episode, please share this with someone else inside BNI that you care about in the spirit of givers gain. Share the knowledge with them, and we'll see you with another great guest next week.
This episode of the BNI San Diego podcast has been brought to you by Cruz Productions, a San Diego-based video production company and proud BNI member. You can find us at the intersection where business and creativity meet, or online at cruzproductionsinc.com.